I am Raj.
Hi, I am Sama, and you're watching Think or Sing.
You're preparing your children for jobs that no longer exist. These words from a leading Indian economist echo through empty office corridors where automation has replaced human workers. A stark reality meant to awaken you to the seismic shift happening in our workforce. The college-to-retirement path that sustained generations is rapidly vanishing in India. In its place emerges a landscape of flexibility, purpose, and potential rewards that could transform how families approach careers. The question isn't whether your family will be affected by this shift, but how you'll position yourselves to thrive through it.
The call to adventure, when traditional paths disappear. They stood at the crossroads of tradition and uncertainty, their perfectly mapped career journeys suddenly interrupted by forces beyond their control. Let me introduce you to three young Indians whose stories mirror the transformation happening across the country's employment landscape. Priya Singh, a computer science graduate from IIT Delhi, had followed the path her parents had dreamed for her since childhood. With her prestigious degree and position at a multinational tech company, she embodied the quintessential Indian success story. Then came the company-wide email announcing AI implementation. I still remember that morning, Priya recalls, her voice tinged with the memory. 40% of our team's functions were being automated. My role, the one I'd spent years preparing for, was suddenly optimized into irrelevance. In another part of the city, Arjun Mehta experienced his own professional earthquake. With a degree from a top design school and 3 years at a prestigious marketing agency, he had been on track for management. I was asked to clear my desk on a Tuesday afternoon, Arjun shares, the shock still evident in his expression. They called it strategic downsizing, but what it meant was that my carefully constructed career ladder had just disappeared. Similarly for Divya Patel in Bangalore, the revelation came more gradually. After completing her finance degree and landing a promising position at an investment firm, she discovered her education had prepared her for a world that was rapidly fading. They wanted skills I didn't have: e-coding, data analytics, automation management. My traditional finance background suddenly seemed outdated, almost obsolete, she explains. These aren't isolated experiences. Research shows that 65% of Indian Gen Z workers report significant anxiety about traditional career stability, revealing the widespread nature of this transformation. The emotional toll creates unique pressures, especially within family structures that value conventional success. I couldn't sleep for weeks, Priya admits. It wasn't just about the job, it was about facing my parents, my relatives. In Indian families, your career success is a reflection on your entire family. This generational disconnect became a common thread in their stories. As Arjun explains, my father had worked for the same company for 25 years. He couldn't understand why I couldn't just find another steady job. Initially, all three attempted to force their careers back onto conventional tracks, Priya applying to similar IT positions, Arjun interviewing with established agencies, and Divya enrolling in finance certification programs. It was like trying to repair a bridge that had already collapsed, Arjun reflects. I was exhausted from trying to convince employers, and myself, that the old way could still work. What none of them realized yet was that their career crises weren't simply personal setbacks, but invitations to transformation. Looking back, losing my job was the beginning, not the end, Priya says with newfound clarity. It was my call to adventure, though it certainly didn't feel that way at the time. Their experiences marked just the first step in a journey that would challenge everything they thought they knew about success and fulfillment in modern India, a journey that would soon reveal opportunities they couldn't have imagined from within their old paradigms. The disruption that derailed our protagonists' carefully plotted careers wasn't random misfortune, it was the visible edge of a massive transformation sweeping through India's economy. As Priya began researching beyond her personal situation, she discovered a startling fact: her company's AI implementation that had eliminated positions was part of a nationwide trend. According to a McKinsey Global Institute report, nearly 23% of current work activities in India could be automated using existing technologies, potentially affecting 60 to 65 million jobs by 2025. I started collecting data about what was happening across different industries, Priya explains, scrolling through spreadsheets on her laptop. I realized that understanding these changes was the first step toward adapting to them. Arjun and Divya reached similar conclusions. Their methodical investigation of the forces reshaping India's economic landscape led them to Professor Rajesh Kumar, an economist at the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. "We're experiencing a fundamental restructuring of employment across India," Professor Kumar explains in his sunlit office. 5 transformative forces are completely reshaping how Indians work. The first force, automation and AI, now reaches far beyond IT. In manufacturing, Tata Motors implemented robotics that increased productivity by 30% while reducing human workforce needs. In customer service, voice recognition systems replaced thousands of entry-level positions at call centers in Bengaluru and Gurgaon, creating ripple effects throughout the industry. The second force, the explosive growth of the gig economy, provided Arjun his first opportunity amid disruption. After weeks of rejection from traditional agencies, he created profiles on Indian freelancing platforms like Truelancer and Workana. "My first project paid just 5,000 rupees for a brand logo," Arjun recalls, "but it gave me direct client feedback and the chance to build my portfolio on my terms." Within 6 months, Arjun expanded to international platforms like Upwork and Fiverr. His unique blend of Western design principles and Indian aesthetic sensibilities attracted global clients. By his 8th month, he surpassed his previous agency salary. The third transformation, remote work dissolving geographical barriers, emerged through Divya's journey. After networking on LinkedIn, she connected with a Singapore-based fintech startup seeking financial analysts with programming knowledge. "They didn't care that I lived in Pune," Divya says. "They cared about my skills and perspective." Data from NASSCOM reveals Indian remote workers for foreign companies earn 13 to 35% more than those in comparable domestic positions, creating an entirely new career pathway. The fourth force, India's evolving attitude toward entrepreneurship, manifested through conversations with startup founders who abandoned traditional careers. Neha Sharma, founder of edtech startup LearnWise, embodies this shift. "My parents were horrified when I quit my corporate job," Neha shares. In their generation, entrepreneurship meant small family shops with unpredictable income. They couldn't conceptualize digital business models with global scalability. This generational gap remains significant. A survey by the Entrepreneurship Development Institute found 72% of parents still prefer government or corporate jobs for their children, while 68% of those under 30 express interest in starting ventures. The fifth shift concerns how success itself is measured. Corporate titles and salaries are giving way to more nuanced metrics. LinkedIn's Workforce Confidence Index shows 81% of Indian professionals under 35 prioritize work-life balance over compensation, while 74% rate purpose alignment as essential. For our protagonists, understanding these forces gave them a framework for navigating uncertainty. Rather than fighting against transformation, they began positioning themselves to benefit from it. 1 year later, the transformation is remarkable. Priya now leads a consultancy with 5 specialists, advising corporations on ethical AI implementation that protects jobs while enhancing productivity. Arjun works from his apartment studio, connecting with global clients from Tokyo to Toronto. "I wake up excited about work for the first time in my life," he shares, earning twice his previous salary. In Pune, Divya has secured seed funding for her app while teaching coding workshops. "My parents were skeptical at first. Now they proudly call me a techno-financial entrepreneur." These success stories reflect a broader trend. A recent survey reveals 77% of professionals who transitioned to innovative careers report higher satisfaction across financial stability, work-life balance, and personal fulfillment. As a mother tells her teenage daughter, "Whatever career you choose will probably transform several times. That's not something to fear, it's your greatest opportunity."